This week, I'm going to lead you through a plank flow. This is especially strong for the upper body and core, but it will definitely get your whole body moving. Let's get started. We're going to start the practice in a seat today. The only prop that I would suggest having would be some kind of a block. So I have one yoga block here with me and one would be enough. But if you don't have a block, you could use some boxes, some books that you can maybe stack on top of each other. We'll need that for our half moon balancing pose towards the end of the practice. But like I said, we're going to start in a seat and you could either sit on your knees or you could have a cross-legged seat to begin with. Where do you feel you could spend a couple of minutes as we start by moving our wrists? So when you have found your seat, start to circle your wrists. We're going to warm up the wrists, the forearms, the hands before we go into our plank flow. After a few circles, change the direction. So circling the other way. You can play with opening and closing the fingers here as well. And then we're going to bend the wrists. So you bring your fingers to a point and then gently pull the fingers towards your forearms, towards your elbows. So you maybe start to feel some tension on kind of the lower side of your forearm. Keep shoulders soft. And then we'll bend the wrists the other way. So in a bit like what we're going to do in our plank. So now pull your fingers towards the forearm, towards your shoulders. And then open your fingers. And this is what I'm going to suggest when we are on our hands, in our planks, in our Vinyasa flows, is to spread the fingers. And then we go back to that circling. Check that your shoulders, your neck are soft. And just a few gentle circles. So we bring mobility to the wrists. Let's change the direction. And the other thing that I'd like you to remember as we go through the flow is that at any point you can bring your knees to the mat. If full planks feel too strong at any point, you can bring your knees to the ground. And then we're going to bring the fingers to a point and again, pull your fingers towards your elbow. So you're starting to feel that tension on the underside of the forearm. You can check that you can still keep your shoulders soft. Check that you're breathing and then bend the wrist the other way. This is the last time. So now imagine you're pulling your fingers to your shoulders and then spread the fingers. And another thing, when we come down onto our hands and arms, imagine in every plank, you're pushing the floor away. You're pushing the mat away. So rather than kind of leaning onto your shoulders and arms, imagine you're trying to push away from the ground. There we go. Let's release the hands and arms. Roll the shoulders a couple of times. And then we're going to go straight into the melting heart pose. So now bring yourself onto hands and knees so that your hips are roughly on top of your knees. You can relax your toes and then walk hands further forward and start to release your chest down towards the mat. Now you could keep your arms extended or you could bend your elbows. Maybe lean your forehead down. Or you might also lean your chin down if that feels better in your neck. But for a few breaths, let your chest melt down towards the ground. You might also know this as a puppy pose. But the intention is to leave the pelvis up and bring quite a big opening to the shoulders, to the chest area. Take another breath or two in and out. We're just creating some space and bringing awareness to the shoulders. And then slowly bring your hands back onto the mat And then using your core, lift your chest up and step hands under your shoulders. From here, we're going to go into a gate pose. So now, you'd step your left hand a bit further forward and then turn to the long side of the mat so that your left knee stays on the mat. You can reach your right arm up, extend your right leg behind you. And you can stay here if you want, or start to look for a balance, lifting your right foot, right leg into the air, starting to wake up the core. Now you can either stay here, pushing down through that left arm, or a few times, exhale, lower the right foot down, and inhale, lift the right leg back up. You could release right arm behind the back. Exhale the right leg down. Inhale, lifting the right leg up. Waking up the side body. Exhale the right leg down. And inhale the right leg up, pushing the mat away. Once more, you could exhale the right leg down. Inhale the right leg up. Pause there to breathe. And then release the right foot down. Bring both hands to the mat. We're going to do the same to other side. So now bring right knee down and then turn to the other long side of the mat. And here, check that your right hand, right wrist is under the right shoulder. You could reach that left arm up and then either keep your left foot down or again find the balance, elevating the left leg into the air. And you choose if you keep that left arm up or maybe bring the left arm behind your back. Either holding the balance or exhale, bring your left foot down. Inhale, lift leg up. Again, exhale, lowering the leg down, still keeping your shoulders strong. Inhaling the left leg up. You could do 2 more times with your own breath. And again, keep pressing down through that right shoulder, right arm. And once more, lifting the left leg up. Inhale and exhale there. And then release the left foot down. Bring both hands down. And then both knees on the mat. We're going to lean the pelvis back into child's pose. Give a little break for the wrists. Bring your head down. You can bring hands under the head or now lift hands into cupcake hands. Just letting the wrists bend the opposite way. Take a couple of breaths in and out. From here, we're going to next go towards that stronger flow. So check that the breath stays with you. And then we're going to spread the palms back on the mat. Lift onto hands and knees. And now you could tuck your toes under. A few times, rock forward and back. Just testing that weight on your hands. Spreading the fingers like we practiced before. So your hands are really active. You're almost kind of gripping the mat with the fingertips. Feeling that in every plank, your shoulders come a bit further forward. And you can push the mat away. Once more, rock forward and back. Feel that strength in the upper back. And then we're going to lift into downward dog. So tuck the toes under if you haven't already and lift the pelvis up. Now first downward dog. You take a few breaths here, walking from one foot to the other. And here as well, keep the hands active. Feel the arms grow from your back rather than from your ears. So release the tops of the shoulders away from the ears. You can pedal the feet. Take another breath in and out. I'm trying to keep the upper back wide. We're going to move into a plank. So from your downward dog, check the fingers, the palms are spread. And then shift the weight forward into plank. Now you might need to adjust your hands. Let yourself do that. And feel that pressing away from the floor. And then exhale back into downward dog. And from this downward dog, now next exhalation, come forward to plank. Bring your right knee towards the left elbow. So you're twisting. And then inhale back into downward dog. Same left leg. Exhale to plank. Left knee towards the right elbow. And inhaling downward dog. We continue this. Exhale, right knee to left elbow. Feel the core engaging. Inhale, downward dog. And again, exhale, left knee to right elbow. And inhaling, downward dog. 3 more times to both sides. So right knee to left elbow. Inhaling, downward dog. And left knee to right elbow. Keep breathing, follow your breath. Inhaling, downward dog. 2 more times to both sides. Forward to plank. And inhaling, downward dog. Keep pushing the mat away. Keep your neck long. Left knee to right elbow. Downward dog, last round. Forward to plank. Don't let your pelvis drop too low. Inhaling, downward dog. And last time, exhale, left knee to right elbow. And to downward dog. Now you could shake your neck a bit. Pedal the feet. And then exhale, bring knees down. And now you choose, either come into downward dog, head can drop down. Or bring yourself into a seat for a few breaths. Just let the breath calm down. And then either from child's pose or from that seat, come back onto your hands and into a full plank. Now keep your legs long. We're going to do a Vinyasa flow. So exhale to low plank. Knees could come down onto the mat. Inhale to cobra or upward dog, opening through the chest. And exhale to downward facing dog. Head dropping down, just letting the whole body move. We'll do same again. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, you can bring your knees down, low plank. From there, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhaling to downward facing dog. Once more, inhale, come forward to plank. And then exhale, lower yourself all the way down onto your belly. Bring arms behind the back. You can interlock fingers. And then inhale, peel your chest off the mat, keeping the legs down, opening the chest away from the mat. So a cobra pose. You might look forward if that feels good in the neck. You might also look down to the mat. And now you have an option to either stay here, you can let your wrists bend the opposite way, so opposite from what they do in the plank, or you can bend your knees, so moving from cobra into a bow pose, taking hold of your feet or ankles, and here you can make quite an important choice, whether you hold your feet from the outside or whether you hold the inside of your feet. So it might be quite a big difference in how your shoulders feel. Wherever you are, in a cobra or in a variation of your bow pose, take another 3 breaths in and out. Press the kind of front of the pelvis, front of the hips down towards the mat, and breathe towards the chest. Letting the shoulders, the front of the shoulders to open. Another breath in and out. And then exhale, slowly release. Bring your chest down, bring your hip down, and you could turn one cheek on the mat. Let the arms come down next to your sides. You could turn your palms up towards the ceiling. And take a couple of breaths in and out. And then from here, we're going to continue back onto our hands. So now, bring your hands under your shoulders. Lift yourself onto hands and knees. Tuck the toes under and continue all the way into downward dog. And here again, you can pedal the feet a bit. We'll add a Vinyasa flow here. So as you inhale, come forward to plank. Again, push the floor, push the mat away. Exhale, low plank. Either knees on the mat or legs extended. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Here as well, knees could be on the mat. Exhale to downward dog. Now from this downward dog, inhale, lift your right leg up into the air. And exhale, step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. We're going to bring the left knee down. Bring both hands to the inside of that right foot. And then start to open the front of the pelvis down towards the mat into a winged dragon pose. And winged means you can let your right hip rotate open. Maybe you bring the weight to the outer edge of that right foot. So you can let that right leg wing out to the side. A bit of an opening around that pelvic area. Here as well, keep pushing the mat away. It's a good place to practice that support in the upper back and the shoulders. Take another breath in and out. And then from that winged dragon, lift your pelvis a bit higher up. Tuck the left foot toes under. Inhale, swing the right leg back up into the air. And then we'll do the same to other sides. You can bring your right foot down. Inhale, send the left leg up. And then exhale, step that left foot to the outer side of your left hand. Bring the right knee down. So both hands on the inside of that left foot. We're going to slowly release the pelvis a bit further down. Again, I'm letting my left hip rotate open. You might even walk that left foot further out to the left side of the mat. And keep breathing here. Keep the fingers slightly spread. Keep your palms open. Take another breath or two in and out. Maybe there's a bit of movement. Maybe you like to rock from side to side. Take another breath in and out. And then from that winged dragon, we're going to, again, lift the pelvis a bit higher up. Tuck the right foot toes under. And then send the left leg up into the air. Now bring your both feet down. And we'll add a Vinyasa flow here. So come forward to plank. Again, pushing the mat away. Exhale, low plank. Knees can be on the mat. Inhale to cobra or upward dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. Then we're going to come down onto elbows and some side planks. So now, come forward to your plank and then lower down onto elbows. Now you decide where the hands are. If you like to bring hands closer together or open the hands wider apart. We're going to go into side plank on the left side. So you could step left elbow a bit closer to center line. Bring feet together and then turn onto your left side. So you keep hovering the pelvis off the mat. And here you could either lift your right arm up, or you can keep your right kind of hand fingertips on the mat. We're going to step the right foot in front of the left leg. That will help with the balance. Now notice where your left hand is. Is it closer to the top of the mat? Or would you like to bring it in front of you? Maybe you like to make a fist. Take another breath in and out here. Remember, you can bring the left knee down at any point. If you want a bit of a challenge here, now step your right foot behind you on the mat and then start to open your belly, your chest, your pelvis up towards the ceiling into a kind of mini wild thing. You could even look up. Take another breath in and out. And then exhale, start to release down. Bring your both elbows down. Bring your both feet down. We'll go straight to the other side. So now adjust your right elbow to center, feet together. Roll to the outer edge of your right foot. So keep your ankles, your feet actively flexed. Keep lifting your pelvis off the mat. And you could have your left hand fingertips on the mat. Or you could reach your left arm up. Step left foot in front of the right leg on the mat. And keep breathing. Here, really pushing the right elbow down. Keep pushing the right shoulder away from the ear. Pushing the mat away. And again, if you want to add that extra challenge, step your left foot behind the right leg and then start to open your belly, your pelvis, your chest up towards the ceiling. Mini wild thing. If your right knee is not on the mat, then actively straighten that right knee. So you're protecting your knee. Take another breath in and out. Shaking is very okay. And then release your both elbows down. Turn pelvis to the mat. Bring knees on the mat. And we'll lean into child's pose. And now you could either leave arms overhead, or you could bring your arms down next to your legs. That might release the shoulders a bit. You could rock from side to side. Let your breath calm down. Take another breath in and out. And then we're going to continue and slowly come back up onto hands and knees. So step your hands on the mat, tuck your toes under, and lift into a downward dog. Now you can either stay in downward dog, or you are very welcome to add a Vinyasa flow here. So if you want, come forward to plank, exhaling low plank, knees can be on the mat. Inhaling cobra or upward dog, and exhale into downward facing dog. Now for a moment, we're going to come up onto our feet. We're going to step into warrior 3. So first side, lift your left leg up into the air. Exhale, step your left foot forward and start to lift your right leg up behind you. Now here, if you have that block, you could bring the block under your hands, or just find your balance, lift arms next to your sides, finding your full warrior 3. Standing leg could still be bent. Reaching head forward, reaching the right leg behind you. Take another breath in and out. And then as you exhale, step your right foot far back. Open your arms, open your chest. And find kind of a warrior two. We're going to go into that half moon balancing pose. So warrior two is our starting point. Now, if you need that block, make sure your block is close to your left foot. Breathe in and out. And then we're going to exhale, tilt down to that left foot. And if you have a block, you can bring your left hand to your block, or you could reach your left hand down on the mat. Start to lift your right leg up into the air. So it's a bit like what we did in that gate pose. And even if you're using a block, you could take your left hand off the block. Right arm reaching up. Again, standing leg could be bent or straight. And breathe in and out. And then we're going to step our feet together. So lift your back up. Bring your both feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, lift the arms up. Open the chest. Exhale, bend down. Full forward bend. Move your block away. Inhale to flat back. Hands on the shins. Open the chest. Exhale, bend down. Hands come down. Now you can step or jump your both feet into plank. Exhale, down into low plank. Inhaling cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale to downward facing dog. And very surprisingly, we're going to do those balancing poses on the other side. So now, lift your right leg up into the air. Exhale, step your right foot forwards. We start with warrior three. Again, you could have a block there under your hands. Lift the left leg up. Bring yourself up to flying. And standing leg could be straight or bent. You could bring arms next to your sides. Actively keep reaching your head and your left foot away from each other. Make sure the weight is on that right heel as well. Take another breath in and out. And then we're going to step the left foot far back. And you could turn your chest to the side of the mat. Open your arms. And again, steady yourself in that mini warrior two. Check that you are breathing. Because then we're going to go to that half moon balance on the other side. So again, you could have a block now close to your right foot. We're going to exhale, reach the right hand down, either on a block or maybe down to the mat. And here, try to keep your chest open to the side of the mat. Standing leg could be bent or straight. And if you feel secure, you could release the right hand off the block or off the mat. And then we start to lift up. Again, bring your feet together. Lift your back, lift your arms up. Open the chest. And exhale down into full forward bend. We go through that Vinyasa flow. Inhale to flat back, hands on the shins. Exhale, bring hands down, step or jump your both feet back into plank. We go down, so push the mat away. Exhale to low plank. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale into downward dog. And breathe here in and out. You can shake the head. And now we have one more side plank. This time we're going to stay on the hands, but if you want, you can go down onto elbows as well. from downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Bring your feet together. Keep your ankles, your feet flex. We're going to step the left hand under the left shoulder and then roll to the outside of your left foot. So finding that side plank. Now push the mat away with your left arm. Lift your hips up. And you can keep your both legs straight. Or you could step the right foot in front of the left leg like we did before. Or last option, bring yourself into a tree pose, bringing your right foot to the inside of your left leg. Don't push into the knee joint, so try to find the foot either above or below the knee. Take a breath or two in and out. Keep pushing the floor away. And then slowly from your pose, step your right foot to your left hand or close to the left hand, and we're going to lift into a high lunge. So left knee bent, right leg more extended, open the chest. And you can either keep your arms extended or bring hands behind the head, interlock fingers, and then lean your head to your hands. Take a breath or two in and out. The right foot pressing down. And then slowly exhale, release your hands down. And here you can choose downward dog, child's pose, or add a vinyasa flow. Choose your option. If you go through the vinyasa flow, we go to plank, to low plank, to cobra or upward facing dog, and then back into downward dog. From child's pose, bring yourself back into a downward dog. And again, we're going to bring feet together. Come forward into plank. We do that side plank to other side. So now bring right hand to the center. Roll onto the outside of your right foot. Keep ankles flexed. You could reach left arm up. Push the mat away. And then, if you want, you can keep your legs extended. You could bring the right knee down if you want. Or you could step your left foot in front of the right leg. Makes the pose maybe a tiny bit lighter. Or the last option, bring your left foot to the inside of your right leg. And we breathe. You can keep lifting the pelvis up. Keep pushing down through that right arm and shoulder. Take another breath in and out. And then from wherever you are, slowly, slowly step your left foot towards the right hand. And we inhale, lift up into that high lunge. Releasing the arms. And again, if you want, you can keep lengthening arms up. Or bring hands behind the head and then lean your head onto your hands. And keep breathing in and out. Keep softening the shoulders. And then slowly, slowly release your hands down. And you have same options, either downward dog, child's pose, or you could do your last vinyasa flow from here if you want. So if you feel like flowing, come forward to plank, exhale to low plank, inhaling cobra or upward dog, and exhale into that last downward dog. If you are in a child's pose, just stay there. Because then we are going to come down into child's pose. Release the feet, soften the arms. And now you choose where your hands and arms need to be. They could stay overhead, Maybe you turn your palms up towards the ceiling. Or maybe you bring arms down next to your sides. Maybe you bring arms behind the back. Give yourself a couple of breaths in and out. And then slowly, from your child's pose, bring yourself up into a seat, and we're going to go lying down on the back. So bring yourself onto your back. You don't need any props here. And we're going to extend the legs, and you're going to have an option to do the banana pose, kind of half moon pose, but lying down on the back. But if you feel that now it's been enough, you can also start a long Shavasana pose from here. But if you want to do a couple more poses here lying down, start by bringing arms overhead. And we're going to hold the right wrist with the left hand, and we're going to slide our feet to the left side of the mat. You could cross your ankles if you want. And then gently, with your left hand, pull the right arm towards the left side of the mat. So it's a side bend. We try to keep both buttocks down on the mat. It's an opening for the right side body. And then try to soften your shoulders. Try to soften your arms as much as possible. Send a few more breaths down and up along that right side body, along that open side body. And then slowly, slowly start to release your arms, your legs back to the center. And if you want to go to the other side, hold now your left wrist with the right hand. Slide your feet towards the right side of the mat. Again, you might cross your ankles. And then you could very gently, with the right hand, pull the left arm towards the right side of the mat. So it's like a banana shape or a crescent moon shape, whichever you feel like being right now. But try to keep your both buttocks down. So we're not rolling onto the right side, but we're trying to create that opening along the left side body. And breathing in and out. Let's take another breath in and out. And then slowly start to release your upper body, your legs back to the center. Bring arms down, somewhere below the shoulders. And then bend the knees. We'll do a few windshield wipers, just swinging the legs from side to side. You decide how big or how small that swinging movement needs to be. You could also rock your head from side to side. And then we start to look for Shavasana pose, that final resting pose. Now you could stay on your back if you want. Knees bent or legs extended. Or if you like the butterfly shape, you'd be very welcome to open legs into a butterfly shape here. I suggest keeping arms somewhere below the heart now. Maybe hands on the belly, or just arms resting down next to your sides. And of course, if lying down on the back doesn't feel good, you can always come lie down on your front. You could lie down on your side. Where do you feel? You could take a moment to let your breath calm down, to let your shoulders relax, let your neck relax. Let your jaw relax. So make sure you're not biting your teeth together. How do you let your breaths slide all the way down to the belly? Feeling the ribs, the chest also expanding gently with each breath in, but not pushing the breath, not forcing the breath. Give yourself at least a few more breaths in and out in your Shavasana pose, in your resting pose. And if you have the time, I do suggest that you stay a bit longer in your resting pose. Maybe a few more minutes. I'm going to slowly close our practice together. But if you want, stay a bit longer in your final relaxation pose. I thank you very much for joining in, for sharing this plank flow. I do hope you enjoyed the practice. If you did, give the video a thumbs up and leave your comments below, and then I'll get back to you. Thank you very much for joining in. Namaste. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye.